Rubbing Up with Dr. Michael Kachmar.
That's right.
Today's date is November 19th, year of our Lord, 2021.
That's right.
And we're here at our beautiful studios in Toms River, New Jersey.
Yes.
I'm here. I'm
Walla Walla, Washington.
And I'm Dr. Michael Kachmar. I'm a board-certified reconstructive foot and ankle surgeon, doctor of pediatric medicine.
Man likes to put things back together. I don't know what it is.
I operate at multiple hospitals. I'm on staff right now at several hospitals, Jersey Shore University Medical Center, Community, Southern Ocean County Hospital. And today is Scrubbing Up with Dr. Kachmar. So this is a medical news station. You okay, Jeremy? You're looking around like you're looking for something. Jeremy's looking around like
looking around at a few decorations. That are
I thought maybe something was flying around.
No. Just having a look about me.
So Jeremy, so this is a podcast, a video podcast. So right now we're live YouTube, we're live Facebook, Twitter and Twitch, and we also, after we're done here, this will be published on Spotify and iTunes,
you name it, Google, Yahoo.
Right. So Jeremy, why don't you introduce yourself, and then maybe you could put up our contact information, our email, and our webpage. So introduce yourself, tell you what's going on.
Well, you know me, guys. I'm your old pal, Jeremy. I'm a director of marketing, and I specialize in medical marketing. That's why I am talking about medicine junk and stuff like that. I'm also an American, which I am very proud of, and I do like to speak up.
You look like an American, by the way. You look like an American. Yeah. Well, you could be English. You could be Scottish. You could.
Well, I am Scottish.
You like what was people can't see you? What was that movie? Anyway, get going. But you look like
I got the red and I got the plaid. You know, it's working for me. So, but this is an amazing talk show we've been doing for many years before we became a podcast. Dr. Kachmar and I have been doing it. And for more information, while we're doing all of this, I'm going to put it up on the screens now for those of you who watch us regularly on YouTube and Facebook and all those places when we are live. I'm going to put our email address.
Yeah, so for the podcast,
website. This is our website.
So it's a website. So it's Jersey. Say it, John.
Jersey Shore Foot and Leg Center.com. This is where you go when you want to find out about Dr. Kachmar and what he does. Like he said, he is a reconstructive foot and leg surgeon. If you are local to the Jersey Shore area, and there is something on your leg, it started growing. You kind of haven't been telling people, but you're starting to get suspicions now. You gotta get to Jersey Shore Foot and Leg Center. Right. And you can do that by JerseyShoreFootandLegCenter.com. Yes.
Right. And also, if you want to send us an email, it's and if you have a question,
that's right up on our screen now. It's I'm going to spell it all out for you here. It's DrKachmar. So that'll spell out Dr. Kachmar at iCloud, iCloud.com.
Right. And what we want to do going forward is you could send us an email, and you could then, if we'll contact you, and we could set you up for either a phone consultation or a call in. We could talk about your case, or you could what do you call it? We could have you live. But here's the thing: I had a guy today actually called me up for something else, and he's going up to New York City for a second opinion about his ankle. He's talking about an ankle fusion. Yeah. And so I talked to him a little bit. We were talking about something totally different, and he found out I was a doctor, and he told me about what's happening. So I talked to him for about 15 minutes on the phone, and he said, the doctor who I have right now, I've known for like 20 years, and he's never spoke. You spoke to me more and gave me more information in 15 minutes than he did in 20 years.
Yeah.
So, if you guys are going to, from a different part of the country, California, you're listening to us, wherever, Pennsylvania, not that you have to come here and have me treat you, but call up. We'll give you some information. It's an opinion show. I mean, I can't treat you over the phone, but we could at least tell you what the science is. Not necessarily for your case. I mean, I gave him the options or what's out there with science with regard to an ankle fusion or an implant.
Right.
He's debating whether or not which one to have. And I just directed him to some articles, some papers, told
Yeah.
them what some of the questions to ask the doctor. So we can help you on that regard. So,
Well,
reach out to us. Reach out to
for
us.
just as for instance, I got a text the other day for Dr. Jasper,
Mm-hmm.
one of our colleagues in that, and he's one of my clients, and the woman was hoping that she had bad insurance, like she had no insurance, she had Medicaid, pretty much. She had
Okay. Yeah. It's
Medicaid.
like welfare. Yeah. Yeah. They used to call it
Yeah,
welfare.
and she was suffering some major back problems. She saw the
Right.
commercials. She
Right.
said, "Oh, I got to get to this guy." But unfortunately, Dr. Jasper doesn't take Medicaid. So what do? Well, fortunately, we had a man that Dr. Jasper had trained, and I sent her, I gave her the information and I sent her to him. And she was so happy just by the amount of grief and time I saved her from having to look for somebody that has the chops to fix her. That she thanked me for her whole day there. And I thought that was great. Dr. Kachmar, however, this is a question to you, and I'm curious, just for my own info. You get a lot of people like they insist they have to go to a doctor in New York because they think that's where the best care is.
Not all the time. I mean, the thing is that there's a lot of good. I think a lot of people realize a lot of good doctors around here. We all work in teaching
Yeah.
hospitals now, and it's a big,
It used to
it's
be
hard
a
to go
thing,
up there.
though. It used to be a thing. People, oh no, I got to go find somebody in New York.
No, but listen. There are times where there's complicated cases that we'll encourage a second opinion because it's a rarity. We'll get some stuff that's real rare in the office, but no, most people, they trust us, they listen to us. But we always encourage. I'm a big proponent of second opinions.
You always have.
And here's the thing: there's certain, like this ankle implant. I'll do a fusion, but I don't do the ankle implants. And if that's what you're going to choose to have done, then I'm going to send you out. You go wherever you want to go. And I think that also a lot of people can't go places because of their insurance. Everybody back in the day, I'm going to go to Philadelphia and get a second opinion. Well, you got one of these.
You're pigeonholed.
You got one of these HMOs, like one of the Medicare Advantage programs. That's an HMO. You ain't going nowhere. Or you want to go there, you're going to pay because the doctor's not on it. So the best surgeon, he may not be, or she may not be on your insurance. Well, then what do you do?
Yeah.
So unfortunately too is that a lot of people go to these doctors who are very subpar doctors, but they take all the insurance. So it's a very weird situation.
It sounds it. Yeah.
And there's some people out there who care less. I don't think they'll do it with the cheapest. I used to remember a friend of mine. He was a physician, and he used to have this thing on his desk. There's no bargains in parachutes. Like you don't buy a used parachute. You want to get the best. And there's people who will buy a used banged up parachute. Maybe the guy died, didn't work real well, and you get it for real cheap.
Yeah. Well, it's all right.
It's all right. It's got some blood stains on it.
The lady I got it from said it was lightly used. It's fine.
So anyway, let's start the show. Today we're going to talk about something that's we are really, this is something that we want to say, by the way, today historically, they had the Rittenhouse. What was his name? Rittenhouse.
The Rittenhouse.
He was found
trial.
innocent. Yeah.
Innocent of all charges.
I'm just going to make one comment, and look, because we are politics, and this is a topical show. We do talk about some of this stuff.
Yeah.
First of all, if they had the police there in a big presence or the National Guard, this would never have happened. Okay.
Yeah.
And that's number one. Number two is, it's amazing when you start looking at the people who got shot. And I know nobody should deserve to get shot, because they have a bad past, but it's amazing to me how despicable some of those protesters that were there,
Oh yeah.
So anyway, I don't want to get into a big thing because it's been.
I actually think there's you're not seeing many churchgoers go to a riot just to smash up some cars.
Mm-hmm.
I think the people that do show up to these riots have some problems to
Well,
begin with,
well,
because there's, especially if their whole purpose for
right,
being there
right.
is property
Well,
damage and stuff like that.
right. This Antifa stuff, it's an international terrorist organization. It's been
Yeah,
around a long time. They're anarchists. They want to crush, tear down the United States. They're not, when people say that Trump and Trump followers are fascists, they got it all wrong. They're the fascists. The fascists, if you look at Hitler and Mussolini and actually Stalin, there's not a lot of difference between the fascists and the communists. So anyway, I don't want to get into a whole thing, but listen, I just wanted to throw it out there that we are, I think that was in our opinion, we may not like what we have to say here, but I think that was a good and fair. That was self-defense, and you know what?
It was self-defense.
Here's what I want to say about the Second Amendment in this case, and this is my one comment. You and I, we believe in Jesus Christ. We believe in God.
Yes.
I believe that we have a God-given right to protect ourselves.
To protect ourselves, yes, sir.
And that means protect myself, whatever I need to protect myself. Mm-hmm. So if the bad guy's got an AR-15, I need an AR-15.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Doesn't matter what. And I should be able to protect myself from anybody and anything that's going to harm
our
me.
Home, our town,
everything.
Yeah.
And so I think this was an indication that that's still in this. It's still in this country. And
when during the rise, and this is my 2 cents, okay, during the riots, when all this was happening, Tucker Carlson said it the best the other day. He said, when and the police are being told to back away and let things happen. See, in a vacuum, people will rise up and fill that space, and that's what a 17-year-old boy named Kyle Rittenhouse did. It was his father's neighborhood. He's a lifeguard. He's trained to save lives and prevent harm from others. And if he showed up there with his gun to deter people, he also had a full first aid pack slung to his back. His purpose out there was to help those that were harming themselves and others. So yeah, I mean, that's it. And afterthought of this, and I talked to you about it. I'd like him to press charges against the people that called him a white supremacist.
Oh, you mean Biden?
Brandon.
All right. Well, let's get into. Let's
you
go
leave
here.
me going. I'm going to be tearing down the wall.
So what we're going to talk about today? This is about the overdose deaths in the United States. We've been banging this drum. If anybody's been with me for the past 3-4 years, this has been an ongoing crisis. So let me just give you some perspective. First of all, this is an article by CNN Politics.
Overdose in what? Let's set up the
narcotics, all kinds of narcotics, but overdoses of drugs,
Okay.
Deaths, overdose deaths. So we understand each other. These are dead. These people are dead. Now, Ocean County, New Jersey, where I'm from, and we are right now, was at one point the epicenter of the drug overdose epidemic in this country. And it was pretty bad. Now it was getting up there. It was 50,000 and 60,000, something like that, 70,000. Trump got in, and he started to. They had a lot of policies, the Trump administration, and one of the things that was making and fueling the drug overdose pandemic or epidemic was fentanyl. Now, let me just, a lot of people do heroin. So let me just give you a little bit of education. You have heroin, which is morphine. You take morphine, it's plants, and they heat it up and they make what's called morphine. Take morphine, and then they heat it up and they make heroin. Okay. It's changed a little bit. It gets into your bloodstream quick.
It's activated by the heat to make it.
Right. So they take morphine, which is, the poppies and everything, and so it's heroin. And people shoot it up. Now, I've been dealing with heroin addicts for, all my life, treating them. When I was in Philadelphia, you see them, and you'll get deaths from heroin, but a lot of people, it wasn't like crazy deaths. And then what was happening is, our human beings, we invented synthetic heroin, synthetic opioids. And the one that we invented is fentanyl. Fentanyl is about 100 times more powerful than morphine. or your heroin.
Okay.
Okay, so follow me. So now, and where is it mostly made? China.
Oh, isn't
And
that
don't let China
interesting?
bull crap you. China, it's been China.
Yeah, yeah.
In fact, Trump tried to stop it coming from China. And one of the things with his embargo said, listen, you keep sending that shit over here, we're gonna put it down. China was back in, so when Trump was there, they were gonna stop it from being made in China, make it a controlled substance. That hasn't happened yet. Okay, now, so and also the other thing that we hear about, why is the drug so bad, is that you got the Percocets, which is the pills. And they blame the doctors. We're giving it out. You're giving it out. We're giving it out.
Percocets,
Right,
oxycodone, all
well,
that.
right,
all that jazz.
and there's still a lot of it out there, but now it's not coming from the doctors. It's coming from illicit drug dealers.
Yes.
So this gets complicated. So follow me. I just want to set up so you got fentanyl, which is a bad actor. It's so potent that one wrong move, you take just a little too much and you're dead.
It doesn't take much either.
No.
Yeah.
Now, on top of that, you got the Percocets that were out there. And so it was coming from, say, grandma's medicine cabinet or from a doctor who prescribed it, and then somebody would abuse it, either that person or a family member. They really cracked down on a lot of that. But now what's happening is and then the other drug that's out there that doesn't really kill you, but it's still there, is the methamphetamine. But let's just talk about these two, okay? Now this stuff is coming from Mexico. It goes from China to Mexico. Now Mexico is the cartels. They're bringing it up here.
Now this isn't legitimate stuff, folks. This is like stuff that's been made in.
No, it's no. It's no. Well, legitimate. No, it's prime.
It's prime stuff, but it's being mixed in.
No, you don't get.
Okay.
No,
right.
you're getting ahead of shelf. No. That's not what I'm talking about right now. No, let's just keep now. So let me give you the statistics.
Okay.
So from May 2020 through April 21.
Right.
Okay. More than 100,000 people died from drug overdoses in the United States. Let me repeat that. This is people are like, we're worried about mask mandates and all this happy shit. Just in 1 year, May 2020, people out there, I'm yelling, screaming this from the rooftops. May 2020 through April 21, more than 100,000 people died from drug overdose in the United States, according to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, the CDC. Dr. Fauci, he's NIC.
I got
so now
a text from Robert Connor here.
Right.
He says, "Can we get some darlings on the show one of these days?"
That was my boss on the beach show.
He's getting sick of staring at us all the time.
I think he's had too many. I don't know how many drinks he's had. Yeah. So all right, Rob, we'll get him. So this is a 30% increase. Okay, 30% increase. It's doubled in 1 year. So and this is the drug epidemic grew in tandem with the coronavirus, which basically killed about half a million people.
Sure.
So the culprit here, one of the culprits, is synthetic opioids called fentanyl, and it's about 100 times more potent than morphine. Okay, we got that. So I'm just going to go here. This is a great article. You guys can read it, but I want to just tell you. So here's what they're saying is that there's enough fentanyl that came into this country to kill 333 million people. So basically the whole population, right? So you follow me on this one? So I'm just going to go here and so where is this coming from? Why is this bad, Jeremy? It's coming from the border. When Trump was in, all right, he was getting it down to 70, 65, his years. Soon as Biden got in, it shot up because they opened the borders and the fentanyl flows in. You follow me so far?
Yeah.
Does everybody understand that? I don't care if you like Biden, you don't like Trump, you like Trump. This administration is directly related, directly a causal of people dying. Trump stopped it. Why can't Biden?
Why won't Biden?
Well, So, but here's another. This is another thing that I want people to listen to, because this is where we were talking about. What's happening now is that you have these people like on TikTok and other venues people they're selling Percocets
Right.
over the internet. So you could buy a Percocet over the internet. You follow me? You could
Yeah.
buy it, and you think you're getting Percocet, but what you're getting is maybe like a Tylenol, uh, what do you call it, laced with fentanyl, and they're dying. And these are young people dying. And there's one here. There's a 28-year-old man in North Carolina who died after taking a fake pain pill. All right, 11-month-old baby, 15-year-old father charged. But what's happening is you have these like teenagers who are your like your son. How old's your son?
15.
Okay, he get on the internet. His friends, hey, you want to get some Percocets. They want, how kids are 15, 16, you experiment.
Sure.
They think they're getting a Percocet. Percocet ain't going to kill a 15-year-old kid. But if it's laced with, or it's not Percocet, it's say Tylenol laced with fentanyl, and these scumbags are selling it, and your son, one dose, he could be dead.
Right.
I'm not kidding around. This is how serious people out there. This is, I'm saying, wake up, America, because here's where there's a 25-year-old woman in Las Vegas who thought she was buying Percocet, but died after taking fake pills with fentanyl. And this is all over the place, people. So that's another whole thing. Now, I just want to let you know, so what are we doing about it, and what's going on? So here, where does fentanyl come from? They say right here, it's shipped from China to the U.S. or Mexico for production by the drug cartel. So it's coming over the borders.
Mm.
Well, why do we have open borders then? If Biden knew, I don't want to beat up Biden, but if this administration knew that you have so many people, it's just one thing if there's 5, 6,000, even that's too many people. We have a pandemic, an epidemic of people dying, 100,000. The way it's going right now, this will surpass the coronavirus. This has been going on. I mean, I've been talking about this for, past the 5 years.
Oh, yeah.
It's over. Way more people have died of drug overdoses than the pandemic, than corona.
Right.
Way more.
Yeah.
I mean, what? We open up the borders and let this shit pour in.
Yeah, but what's it take to stop this?
And they mail it in. So what happened was Biden he was at the G conference, and so he said that China is going to crack down on fentanyl, and what they're going to try to do is China. Here's what President Joe Biden is doing about it. So China says, well, we're going to try to make it a controlled substance. Biden didn't do one thing. He didn't pressure. He didn't say, listen, we're going to make double up on the embargoes, stop bringing the fentanyl in here. And, and the other thing that the Biden administration says, Biden told reporters Wednesday that his administration, and this isn't what he's going to do. This is what he's going to do. We're going to work to make health coverage more accessible and affordable for those Americans. So they're not going to stop it. They're not going to close the border.
No.
They're not going to make China they asked, can you maybe make fentanyl a controlled substance? China says, well, we'll think about it. So they're going to still make the shit.
Right.
It's still going to be sent over. We know where it's coming from.
Sure.
We're not going to stop it coming from the borders.
Nope.
Because and so what we'll just even in now, so we'll just try to have better health care for if you do get taking the shit.
Yeah, and hope nobody dies.
So all my friends out there, the 81 million people who voted for Biden, okay,
right.
And I don't know what you're worried about Trump, why Trump was such a bad guy, but your kids are dying. 100,000. This is the CDC. This is CNN Politics saying this. Of course, they don't criticize Biden or criticize China. You would think, Jeremy, that China's starting trying to kill us or take over the world.
No.
Now, I'm not a conspiracy guy.
I mean, really.
I'm
about to walk out.
I mean, I don't want to get you upset. What do you think, Jeremy?
I'm besides myself. This is preposterous.
So I want people to start. We just finished. We're it's a crazy time right now, and I think that maybe the corona. We're worried about mask mandates. We're worried about all this happy horse shit, which is ridiculous, and we're not for mandates. But look at this is going on right now. This is 100,000, and they're mostly young people.
Right.
These are not the scum. These are not heroin addicts in the whole, like it used to be. These are good people who are getting jammed up. Well, first of all, why can't we stop this stuff from being mailed? But we should be most of it is made in China. We're not making it in the United States. So why can't it be? What What do you have, Jeremy? What are you looking at? Tell
All
me
right,
what you think. So
this is just in.
yeah,
Okay.
give me what's in. Tell
This
me what's
is
in. Tell me what you. But this important stuff we
oh
just
no,
said.
no. I agree. I agree 100%. I mean, we're running out of ways of killing each other. That's the problem. No, this is just in. Joe Biden was
Right.
Went up to say about the Kyle Rittenhouse case.
Right. What did he say?
Okay. Joe Biden, 2 hours ago, mind you, said President Biden called on Americans to protest peacefully and follow the law following the jury's verdict in the Kyle Rittenhouse trial, which he himself has said has made him angry and concerned by their verdict. He says, I urge everyone to express their views peacefully, consistent with the rule of law. But, here's the thing, though. They said the same thing to Trump before the Capitol thing, and they blamed Trump for everything that followed.
Well, let me just say something here. First of all, I find that kind of disingenuous. This is a jury in the United States. If you're found innocent, you're innocent.
Oh yeah. No.
So what about O.J. Simpson when he was found innocent? Should I have gone with the president? Who's the president of the United States then? Should we have gone out and protested because whatever we thought? Listen, I didn't protest. It was jury found him innocent. He's innocent. Yeah. I didn't think he was innocent. But here's the thing: why is the president of the United States? Why would he say that? Protest what?
He says
protest what though? What protest what?
Because he knew he
why? What? I don't understand.
Yeah, he says Biden also stated that the White House, along with federal authorities, have been in touch with Wisconsin Governor Tony Evers' office to prepare for any outcome in this case.
Nothing's going to happen. Listen, people. You know what? Listen. Go ahead. Yeah,
he says he's offered support to the governor and all of that, while the verdict in Kenosha will leave many Americans feeling angry. It's almost like he's stirring that pot, though, doesn't it?
My thing on this, first of all, Kenosha, it all started. It was about a black person who got shot,
right.
And it was about racism and police brutality, which is a discussion we should all have. We've had prejudice for a long time. It's getting better in this country. It's still out there.
It's still out there.
So I have no problem. I think though that this wasn't anything about race. This is a white kid killed 3 white people, or shot 3 white people. Whatever. So
one of them was a child rapist.
So it doesn't matter. But they're white. I mean, so there's no racist. That's bullshit. What? And he's white supremacist? No. This is a guy. So my point is here, when all this, they had the riots and everything, they should have brought in a National Guard. They should have had the police in there. None of these people. I mean, if I was running the show, that guy Rosenbaum, he wouldn't have been in there. He'd been probably locked up. He just got out of jail. This kid, I wouldn't have let anybody walk around with guns. I would have closed the area. And you bring in the National Guard, it would have been over and done with. That's it. So part of it is that his administration, especially his vice president, they supported riots. They supported Black Lives Matter and Antifa to burn, and they killed many people.
Yes.
So here's the president of the United States who said, "I'm going to bring us all together." That statement just drove a wedge between.
He actually said 2 hours ago, I ran on a promise to bring Americans together.
Well, how's he doing that then?
Because I believe that what unites us is far greater than what divides us. He just reiterated that, steadfast in my commitment to do everything in my power to ensure that every American is treated equally with fairness and dignity under the law. But, inciting that people should go and protest at all. Never mind peacefully. Peacefully is what you hope they'll be.
But you gotta understand,
unleashing people out there. You don't know what their motives are.
No, but here's the thing, Jeremy. And I don't want to criticize her, but Joe Biden, and as the man, his family, I've read about his son who was thrown out of the Army, Navy for drug addiction and everything else. We could get into personal stuff, but here's the bottom line. A jury found him innocent. It's over and done with. Bottom line. Now, the President of the United States should say, listen, the system, it's done and that's it. It wasn't the trial was the most transparent trial. You could watch it. You could go there and look at it yourself. I watched it. I watched every minute of it. I watched every minute of it. I listened to every minute of it. I was working out. I was doing painting, and I listened to it. And the interesting thing is it was self-defense, no doubt about it. The premise is he shouldn't have been there. He shouldn't have had a gun. Well, again, Mr. Biden, President Biden. Okay. And I respect the office, but I don't respect the man.
Sure.
Okay. And what I'm saying here is that Carl Rittenhouse has the right as a human being under God to protect himself. It's the Second Amendment, dude. Yeah. Go look up the Second Amendment. And I can tell you right now, I feel that him saying that maybe he doesn't care about the Second Amendment. He said he was going to be the most constitutional president ever. Well, he's got a bad track record so far.
Oh my God.
So yeah. And then, this, what about, I tell you, I'll give you even this one with remember the case, the Trayvon Martin case, where it was a black kid who got killed by that white guy. Yeah. He got acquitted, the white guy. I thought that wasn't, I didn't like that case. And it was Florida, but this guy was acting like a semi-cop with a gun. He's a, what do you call it? Security in the neighborhood. And this kid, they probably got in a fight, and the kid was probably beating the shit out of him, and he killed him because he felt he was, his life was threatened. I thought that guy shouldn't have walked. I mean, I don't, but so
well,
so
do you think that the Rittenhouse trial was politically fueled?
Oh, absolutely,
definitely. Yeah,
I think that was the only reason why they brought charges against him. And I'd say, what you know what, I don't even mind that charges were brought, because you vetted out. But this is the thing. You have, for the President of the United States, all he did with that statement, in my opinion, was fuel the fire. He did not. That wasn't a conciliatory, response. Now, did Trump do the same thing? Has Barack Obama done the same thing? They all have. So in that regard, is he any different than all of them? The presidents now chime in and they persuade the politics. I guess at heart they're all politicians.
Yeah.
So I shouldn't, like I said, I don't want to be disrespectful to the presidents, but I think that
to the seat, to the office.
But I think
definitely not.
But I think in this time, with the you have to step back and say, okay, what's the bigger picture here? In this trial, I mean, how are people going to look at this 100 years ago, 50 years ago, 50 years from now, 100 years from now?
Will they be talking about it or nothing?
Well, I mean, there's a lot of cases that I don't like that go, like, that I feel were, it was a bad decision.
Sure.
But I also respect the jury. This was 6 people. Think about what just happened.
Yeah.
Now, you had,
they were in the most impossible position ever,
but bigger than that, Jeremy.
Yeah.
Where in the world? So what happened was he was charged, okay, and people got killed, no doubt about it. So he was charged. You had 6 ordinary people.
Joes.
I don't know anything about them, and they were chosen, and they sat there. And they made the decision, not the President of the United States. This is the great thing about this country. So look at, I mean, one way or the other. And if they, and if they found him guilty, I would have been upset. I would think it was an injustice, but I wouldn't be going rioting and crazy. I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't do either or. But here's the thing. Think about it. 6 people, regular people, made the decision. That's the, and so that was it. And it could have went either way. But the system worked. It's our democracy. It's our, and it's got to be a reasonable doubt. So for the President of the United States, I would not say that. I would say, listen, the system rendered the judgment. That's what they said. That's it. It's over and done with. Right. I would have been neutral. Why stir the pot? Oh, go out and protest. Protest what, though? Did he say what to protest? Protest that a white supremacist got off? Protest that he protected him?
He warned the governor, no matter what the
I understand
the verdict was, to expect
but read
any kind of
but read what he's just said, his statement. I just want to hear that statement again. Maybe I'm misunderstanding it. Read his statement that it just came out. Who's citing his statement? Who's citing his?
I'm getting this off of Fox News.
Okay, so yeah. we should hear what CNN says too. But tell me what
I'll start at the beginning. He
Yeah,
says,
well, don't go too. Yeah,
yeah,
good.
yeah. I mean, it's
Good.
President Biden called on Americans to protest peacefully and follow the law.
Stop. President of the United States is asking
Americans
to protest.
peacefully.
I don't care. Peaceful protest, prepared. Peacefully, violent.
Yeah, peacefully is bullshit.
Right, right.
Yeah,
but but protest a court decision
Mhm.
by 6 Americans.
Following the jury's verdict on Kyle Rittenhouse's trial, which he said left him angry and concerned.
Okay. Now, if I would ask Mr. Biden, excuse me, President Biden,
Mhm.
if the jury found him guilty, would he have given the same statement? Follow me now.
No.
If Rittenhouse was found guilty, would President Biden said the same thing? I encourage people to go out and protest. Would he have said that?
No.
Okay. So the president, so if he didn't, which means in my little mind,
Yeah.
he's biased.
Sure.
The president of the United States is biased.
When he was
Okay.
running for the presidency, when he was running for that office, he
Okay.
for no other reason. For no other reason. We're talking about why this man feels like he has any say in this thing at all. He called out a 17-year-old kid as a white supremacist for votes.
So keep reading. So the president of the United States is calling.
I urge everyone to express their views peacefully, consistent with the rule of the law, Biden said in a statement ahead of expected protests. He says, violence and destruction of property have no place in our democracy. I mean, this is almost word for word for what Trump said before the Capitol thing.
Yeah.
He said, please be peaceful. I know you guys are going to be doing this. Please be peaceful.
Yeah.
Biden also stated that the White House, along with federal authorities, has been in touch with Wisconsin Governor Tony Evers' office to prepare for an outcome in this case. Well, I have spoken with the governor this afternoon, and I've offered support and any assistance needed to ensure public safety.
Okay, well, that's all. Yeah, that's all goes. That's rhetoric. I mean, it's good.
Yeah,
my point is though. Let me assist. Let me change my my opinion here though, or my thought.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe all presidents. I said that in the beginning. I think all presidents will weigh in, and probably we got to the point where I don't think the president should be weighing in on this stuff. Probably it's.
He's got other things he should be putting his head to.
And maybe I don't know if it started with Barack Obama. Maybe it was. I don't know. My point is here. I just don't think that the best option here would have been for him, or anybody, even Trump, to now with the Capitol stuff. Go protest. I mean, you can protest. People could protest, and I think that the president saying go protest is fine, but to go in this situation, I'm just getting. I don't got a good feeling.
See, but he already knew that there was charged emotions about this trial. For him to say anything at this point,
he should have been quiet.
It's incitement,
right? It's right, and right. So then basically, it's the same thing that Trump did. If they're going to go after him, they're going to. So now. If something happens really bad,
right? Who are we going to blame at this point?
I know Trump.
Right. Trump, is it Trump again?
I just think I think that he's so I'm getting. That's why I didn't like that statement. I think it's just you should. White House just said, listen, we honor the verdict. It's the system. It's our judicial system, and that's it. The 6 jurors have spoken, and it's over and done with. See you later. You could talk about it later on, write a book, ba-bing, ba-bang, but I don't think it should have went that way. But anyway.
Now on more medical news.
Yeah, let's talk about, listen, let you digress. You get me going.
I got a question for you.
But I want to go
this
with
leads
this.
Into our this leads into.
I want to talk about opioid stuff because this stuff is really, really important. If anybody listens to us.
I just found out here.
Because I have another statistic here.
7 minutes ago. They said that the CDC expanded eligibility for the COVID-19 vaccine booster shots to all ages 18 and up. But also, I found out recently, Mike, when I thought I was fully vaccinated,
right?
It doesn't seem like I am now. What are your thoughts on that?
Say it again. I'm sorry. What you?
When I thought I was fully vaccinated with the 2 shots, like they
Right.
told me,
Right.
now I find out that's not the case. They've changed it to
Well, it's a
3
definition. Yeah,
shots.
it's a definition because they're saying that you're weaning down on your immunity,
Yeah.
and then
So
next year.
what do you think the backlash is going to be is going to come from that, considering all these mandates? Now it's 3
Well,
shots instead of just
right,
2.
right. That's
Or,
now. I mean, it's a progression. You got a lot of things. You got this moment right now. You got 5 years from now.
yeah.
5 years from now, in my prediction, we'll be crowded in New York City looking at the tree. Nobody will even know about Corona. It'll be a distant memory.
I hope
Well,
so.
or maybe we'll get a flu shot and there'll be Corona in there. And I think that it's going to wean down now, unless there's another one that China pushes out, and we have another epidemic. So I that's something that I have no crystal ball on, but I would tell you this. The statistics are there's some spikes going up, it's going down. Other countries are having it. This thing is, it's interesting. I think that if you look at the 1918 influenza virus and you look at that, it ran through the world. It killed, I don't know, 50 million people, and then it was gone. This one here, we've been isolating, we've been shutting places down, and I think we got a slow death. And I think that I think here it's a little different because what we're doing is we're trying to vaccinate everybody. The problem, as opposed to letting it rip through the population and kill whoever, and then you get immunity, which I understand. I think that's a good idea, but we don't have enough vaccine. There's countries. I got friends who live in other parts of the world. They can't get the vaccine. Especially the poor countries. I mean, I was down in Jamaica on a wedding, and when I was down here in August, out of 3 million people, maybe 300,000 had a vaccine, and some of it they didn't want it, but a lot of people there's no access to it.
Right.
You got to remember the Pfizer vaccine. It's got to be kept cold. It's really hard to store and to give this stuff out. I wonder how many of these people with breakthrough infections who got inoculated, the vaccine they got was not good, because it got stale.
Well, that leads me to this next
thing. So hold that thought. Hold that one thought. But just saying is that this is going to run its course eventually. I don't know how long. Because if all the kids get inoculated, I mean, there's nobody. If you look at the statistics, most of the United States
this is the statistic I wanted to tell you.
But then they're going to say, well, you got to keep getting a booster and a booster and a booster.
I heard that the COVID vaccine has killed more people than any other vaccine in the last 30 years.
Yeah, I haven't looked at that. I mean, well, the last time I looked at that statistic, there was, I don't know, 4,000 or 5,000. It's really hard to say what those people died from. I'll give the CDC a little bit, little bit leeway. Yeah. Well, here's the thing: if you take 1 million people, and just one snapshot, out of that 1 million people, within the next month, maybe 500 of them are going to die.
Gotcha. Yeah,
they get drop dead of a heart attack, your PE, a stroke, whatever.
Yeah.
So now you give all those 1 million people the vaccine, and the same 500 die. Was it the vaccine or was their time?
Right.
So you got to be. I don't know how dangerous it is. I know you have some radio shows that you deal with where we go
more nuts.
We go real nuts. Yeah. I'm a little bit more conservative.
There's more pitchforks and torches in some of my other shows.
I would tell you this. That the regular flu, has caused people to be paralyzed and die. The other side of the coin is that if you look at how many children who died from Corona, in the past almost 2 years, is about 800. It's way more with flu, and then when do we land and say, here's a good example. Normal flu, 60 to 80,000 people die a year. So if we get to Corona where that's the flu and you have that many deaths, is it really significant? We couldn't cure that. So I don't know how Corona may be around for a long, long time, and we may need to have a booster or like a flu shot. And if you don't get it, you don't get it. But here's the thing that you're talking about is, the other thing is monoclonal antibodies. They're really good. They make a big difference to monoclonal antibodies. Monoclonal antibodies, Jeremy, save a lot of people's lives. So anyway, yeah. So I think what you're illustrating is, well, we're not fully vaccinated. When does it end? And so if you look at the CDC, almost everybody in the United States is fully vaccinated except the kids. I mean, everybody in there over 65 is like 99% are vaccinated, even 18 and up. And you don't, and you see the wave going down. But let me make another point here about this overdoses, okay, Jeremy? Because what one of the things the Biden administration is doing, which I give them credit, they're giving $4 billion in funding from the COVID release package and to fight substance abuse. But I hear they're going to take that and give it to something else.
Right.
And there was one other statistic I wanted to throw out, because this is very important. If you get anything from this thing, is you got to watch your kids what they're buying online, because they could get one pill and it could kill them. Okay, one pill.
And don't take any pills from people.
No,
like you don't even have a bottle that it comes with. It's wrapped up.
No, don't drink anything.
Or
don't
whatever.
Don't snort anything.
Doing? You're putting your life. It's like giving a stranger a gun, telling them to shoot you. You don't know what you're going to get, and you're going to the chances of dying from this stuff, because it's all out there.
So listen to this statistic. This is another one. Again, this is CNN. This is from the CDC. An estimated 10 million Americans ages 12 and above misuse opioids in 2019. Now 10 million, okay, misused it. And I think that's hard in that, including 9.7 million prescription pain reliever abusers and 745,000 heroin users. I think those statistics are a lot less, because if you look at how many people are dying, I think it's a lot more than that. But there's a lot of people who are addicted to drugs, and part of, you say, oh, no, it was because we were locked up with Corona and it's going to come down. No, it's the accessibility of the fentanyl coming from the border.
Yeah.
And the cartels are shoving it up here, and it's just getting worse and worse. And a lot of people who OD on this didn't want to OD. They thought they just wanted to get a high. And so the children out there, the parents who are listening to this, the children, the teachers, again, the mask mandates, all that, let's just, and, this Carl Rittenhouse, and President, he should got up there and say, you know what, instead of talking about this, say, hey, listen, I want you guys to get out there and protest. About 100,000 of our citizens just died in the past year, ODs, and these are young people.
Yeah.
See, why I'm so passionate about this, Jeremy, I see them when they OD at my hospital, and they pull the plug on them and they bring them down to the operating room where I'm at. I'm operating on the next room, and they taking their hearts, their livers, their lungs, doing harvesting. I see these kids. Well, I could go in the room and watch, but I see them wheeling them in.
Man.
A lot of times the nurses and doctors will, line up, and when they bring them in, this is what happens, Jeremy. They still intubated. They're still on a, breathing. They're not, they're on a tube, and what they do is they bring them in and they shut everything off. They give them enough, morphine and everything, so they don't have any pain. They're brain dead, most likely.
And the heart
and then they wait. Well, they wait until the heart stops. It depends on how quick it stops. If it doesn't stop in a certain amount of time, they can't do the heart transplant. And
how do you compartmentalize all that?
What do you mean?
Like you're seeing all this stuff, and you're a human being. Like you've got to deal with it and move on. You're also a surgeon, which means you got serious shit you got to take care of. I mean, like, how do you?
Well, I could tell you right now. One of the kids, I knew the kid, and I talked to his family. I saw him in the intensive care unit. He was in a coma. I mean, he tried hanging himself, and anyway, it was a tragedy. And yeah, I see these kids. Well, that's why I'm yelling and screaming on the radio here. Yeah, I see this stuff. How does it make me feel? Shitty. Does it make me feel good? No. Am I all touchy feely? Does it take years off my life? Does it make me, depressed? Absolutely. I mean, who wouldn't? I mean, if I say, oh yeah, I'm gonna have
getting some free therapy.
I mean, when I see, and I could see the faces, I could tell you right now. I mean, we were, the local hospitals in Ocean County, they were doing probably one every other week, and it was actually tragic because, in the silver lining to it, which sounds morbid, but all these ODs, a lot of people got organs. So they saved some lives. So at least they, you get,
side of it.
You got something. But No, it's brutal, and
Yeah.
that's why I'm going
Because
crazy
I
here.
remember when I was younger and I would see some screwy stuff, you know, like you see an accident on the side of the road. I told you that one day I
Right,
saw the
right.
motorcyclist and he got decapitated and stuff, and you move on with your life. When you're young, I think you can just pass it over really quickly. But now I'm getting older and you know, the images that I see are staying with me a little longer than they used to. You know, I saw in that Patriot Purge special that woman being killed in the Capitol, just shot to death, and I saw her bleed out on the camera. And I got to tell you something. For about a week and a half, every single day I woke up, her face was the first one that came to my mind, with the
Yeah, yeah.
with
Well,
the
you're not
blood
used
in
to
her
seeing it.
mouth
Yeah,
and all of
yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah. You
You know,
know,
but but
right.
how things affect me now as I'm growing up and I'm you know
Yeah,
I'm getting
yeah,
into
yeah,
a
yeah, yeah.
they affect me way more than they ever did when I was a child.
Well, how it affects me is that I want to do something about it. You know, I mean, I've
Yeah.
seen people come
Mhm.
in the ER, shot. You know, I mean, car accidents. You know, just horribly deformed. You know, really, really
Right.
tremendous. You feel bad for them, but what happens is then you can't sit there like a deer in the middle of the road. You got to act. You know,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
yeah, I see these
You got to move
people.
forward.
I
You got
see
to
these
move
people,
forward.
and
Yeah.
it gets me really upset. And that's why, you know, we got the president of the United States. I could care less about Carl. I mean, I'm all about Second
It's
Amendment.
Kyle, by the way. You've been calling
Kyle,
him Carl for the whole show.
excuse me, but you know, I mean, that's important. But you
Yeah.
know, let you know, did he say anything about these $100,000? You know,
No,
these
and he won't.
well, he may maybe have, but my point is that yeah, I'm very passionate about certain things. We got people 100,000. I
That's
just want to say 100. It was 80,000 the year before that. You know, it was creeping up, and at least Trump put a kibosh on it a little bit. Now it's zooming up. So I don't even blame Biden. I mean, what we got to do something, people. I mean, I don't care if you love Biden. You know, where's it coming from? It's coming from China. It's coming from the border.
mm,
So stop it. You can't. I don't want to just say there like Barack Obama said one time, "Oh, this is our new normal." So we're just gonna let these people. Same thing like with all the shootings in Chicago and you know in these inner cities. I don't agree that that's
it
just a
bothers
normal.
me. It bothers me a little
Everybody,
more when the man who is making it the new normal is telling us that it's the new normal.
right,
That bothers me
right,
a
right,
lot.
right, right. I
Yeah.
mean, you know, I banged this drum about way before Corona about the you know how many in the inner cities black on black crime
Yeah.
murders. It's
Mhm.
young kids, it's babies, and you know I got a mixed race. You know that my you
Yeah.
know I mean my granddaughter who I love you know more than anything else. She's mixed race and you
Yeah.
know, has nothing to do. We if we're talking about being touchy feely nice, you know. Compassionate. We need to do something about it.
Mhm.
This is gonna what's gonna be next year? 120,000. You know when are we gonna say whoa 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 whoa? I mean we're worried about you know I mean we had Corona now. It's half
Yeah.
a million in the
Yeah.
United States in about 2 years. So you know this is banging along. So in 4 or 5 years we're gonna if we don't do anything we're gonna have as many people die from Corona. I mean think about the Vietnam War. 50,000 men died there soldiers. Korean War, 50,000. You know, the World War II, we lost about 500,000 soldiers.
Yeah. Yeah. We did.
You know,
Yeah.
think about that. This is 1 year.
Oh,
Last year, it was 80,000.
it's not
Yes.
even a year yet, man. What are you saying? 1 year yet? We still got like a month and a
Yeah.
half yet.
Yeah. So anyway, I mean, you know, we could go on and on and on. We're getting towards the end of the show, and I'm tired today.
Yeah, me too.
But what I wanted to say is you know to kind of wrap up here, you know, when you have these dangerous drugs, you got to start talking to your kids because it's not like it was years ago where, you know, you could drink or you could smoke pot. And there's stuff out there that's really could kill you like instantaneously. And so don't take pills. Don't let your kids watch what comes in the mail. Tell the mailman, don't deliver
Oh,
anything here.
yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
I would say, listen, don't deliver any packages here. And these kids out there, that you know we got to be teaching these kids that this stuff is very very dangerous. We also got to put a kibosh at the border, and we also got to go after China and say, listen, you know, don't don't make that stuff anymore. Don't send it over here. You know, fentanyl is illegal, is used in the hospitals and stuff,
When used right.
and
When
there's
used
also, I think
correctly,
they
yeah.
have a heavy duty dose for animals. So, it's
Yeah, but you
huge.
don't want somebody in their shed mixing it up and then you
No,
getting it in your hand from
no,
a friend of
no,
a friend.
no.
That's just
No.
madness.
And the other thing, Jeremy, getting back with this trial and all of that, and I guess everybody has an opinion, and I should probably tamp down a little and say, listen, I think that at least everything should be peaceful. I think protesting in this country is a right, to
I think,
assemble,
yeah.
and
It's the
so
one thing we
I
have to
right,
speak out for
right.
change. Yeah.
Right. And so I don't want to criticize the president for, telling people they can, but I don't know if we should be saying you should,
Well,
and, but
if you do, I like to, I mean, I say it every show almost. Be kind. Be kind. The
yeah,
people that you're
yeah,
protesting with
right.
and the ones that are against you, they're still your neighbors. And
Yeah.
everybody's allowed to have an opposing thought. But let's be kind about it. All right. Let's speak up. Let the government know that we're upset by how it's handling things. And we could do that peacefully enough, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah, yeah.
we're not
Yeah,
cavemen
yeah,
anymore.
and you could, and vote, man, vote, vote them out, vote
Vote.
them in,
Keep
vote them.
speaking up. If you've got blogs, blog. If you've got anybody
Right.
can get a YouTube channel, make one and talk about it.
Yeah.
TikTok,
And
everything.
And you could think whatever you think about me. I watched, the trial, and like I part of me was like, yeah, maybe he shouldn't have been there. I had an open mind. When I first heard it, it sounded like he was some asshole. He was a young kid. And they said, oh, he shouldn't have been there. Why did he go there? Because he wanted to help people. He wanted to try to help an injustice that was going on. They're burning things down. Almost it sounds to me like he could be a Green Beret or Navy SEAL. How many young kids who are 17, 18 years old, rise to the occasion. They join the military. They want to fight, to save our ideals.
Yeah.
If I get, if we could go back in time to World War II, and the guys landed on Normandy, and you ask them, why are you doing this? They're saying it's for my kids and my grandkids, for freedom, for the American flag, for what we stand for. I think that this case here, I think that kid stood for that. I think he went there, and somebody called him a dumb kid or whatever, naive. Well, man, every 18-year-old kid who joins the Marine, are they naive?
Right,
Everybody
no.
goes to, it was all those Navy SEAls, fought in Afghanistan. My sister, who did 2 terms there, are they naive? No, but this kid
seeing the police being pushed away from it all and seeing his home, all right, and
his father,
where he loved, being torn apart, smashed apart.
Right.
This kid had the balls to stand out there as a symbol, to allow people to see that it will not pass further than this. But if you do harm yourself, I am here to help you. He's a helping hand out there. Mr. Rogers, Fred Rogers from Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood, he always said, in bad times, look for the helpers. Okay. Look for the helpers, because they're the ones that are going to do good for us. And now we're turning against these helpers when they show.
Right.
It's not
like I could tell you this, Jeremy, and I'm a Christian. I'm 65 years old.
Mm-hmm.
I've been on this earth. I try to help. I'm a physician. I watch that trial. I try as hard as I can to see the other side.
Play devil's advocate.
Yes. And I don't see it. I'm sorry. And I saw, I said,
nope,
President Biden and everybody else, I just don't see it. I don't, and if I look at Stalin, I didn't see his side. If I look at Mao, I look at Hitler, this thing, I mean, and the people that were there that he shot were dubious people, to say the least. So, and that's another whole argument you can make. But for the president of the United States to initially call this kid a white supremacist without even, there's a thing called due process.
Yeah.
And again, politicians, I understand that. But, and again, so if you hated Trump for the same thing that Biden's doing now, how about that? How about, listen, they're birds of a feather. I mean, they're both the same. So if you say Trump was, all those adjectives and stirred the pot and did, well, what is he doing?
He's doing the same thing.
So I watched that. And I mean, I looked at the kid was there to help people.
Yeah.
But also The old saying with Teddy Roosevelt, walk softly but carry a big stick.
Mm.
Again, do we have the right to protect ourselves? Do we have the right, Jeremy, to, if somebody is, a woman, like I was listening to one, Nicki Minaj, I forget what it was. She's like, well, if somebody attacks you, if they don't have a gun, you don't have the right to shoot them. So I want to say to people out there, well, let me ask you this then. If you're a woman and you weigh about 90 pounds and some 250-pound guy knocks the door down and starts raping you, beating the shit out of you, ripping your clothes off, do you have the right? Do you have the right to shoot him
in the middle of all
right in the
that,
balls?
You're able to get your hands on a gun. Are you shooting a warning shot first, or is it going right for the groin?
Well, but here's the thing: do you have the right for self-preservation?
Yeah.
And so to me, that's what I see in this case here.
Right,
I don't see it wasn't black white. It had nothing to do with race. It had nothing to do with economics. It had to do, in my opinion, almost with good and bad. Evil.
I was saying that when
I'm
good
sorry.
is always going to look good to you, bad is always going to look bad.
This is why we in this country. I'm sitting here. I'm trying. I'm a Christian. I'm trying
to understand.
Say, and then you got, and this Biden comes out, and I'm like, well, maybe that was a prepared statement. Does he really believe that? So, and I watch, some of the news, and there's people out there who believe that. I don't know how we're going to come together if that's what the narrative is. Then what I want to know is that most of what people in this country think. Now, there's everybody I talk to believes more on my end.
No, I was watching the footage of the trial on a YouTube channel. They were streaming it it was a secondary thing.
Right.
But they had their own chat going live through the whole thing.
Right.
And I was reading the responses on that chat, and the majority, apart from a few trollers, and you're going to get that, the majority were free him. He is not guilty.
Yeah.
Not guilty. Not guilty.
Well,
it was flowing up the chats like lightning speed.
So I could make an example after example. A girl walks into a bar, with a mini skirt. She get raped because she caused it.
Well, that mini skirt looked
no. Maybe that's not a good analogy, but here's the thing, though.
Ridiculous.
I think I'm gonna just report to me personally. I've been around a long time. Listen, people are prejudiced. People, kill people and they shouldn't have. They acted. They provoked things. I don't think that kid provoked it. Now, yeah, but here's the thing: that one of the big things is, did he have the right to be there? Because that's the argument. He had no right. He shouldn't have been there. Well, I don't agree with that. I'm sorry. I don't agree. I think that just like the other people had rights to be there, he had the right to be there. He had the right to go there and give aid, but he also had the right to have a gun to protect himself. If some idiot, which actually happened, could protect himself.
Right.
So where does it go down? So protest. But here's my thing: protest what? President Biden. I don't understand. Protest what? What should we protest? What are they going to protest? Did they say what they're going to protest?
Just against whatever.
But what though? Not
side,
just
whoever wins.
So what's the other side going to protest? What's their argument? Not forget about the black man who got killed, shot, and could know all that. That's a different story. Listen, that's a totally different animal. I'm talking about, this kid went there because the place was being burnt down. There was no police there, or they were backed off. There was no National Guard, and he felt he was going to help. Maybe he was misplaced. Maybe he was idealistic. Maybe people who joined to go to Vietnam, were stupid kids because they got killed. I wouldn't say that. I think they're patriots.
Yeah, me too.
And but there are people who say that. My father and my uncles, they all volunteered, went and fight Germans, fight the Japanese.
My father-in-law, who we call Papa, he is a Vietnam vet. He was infantry. He saw stuff that he won't even tell today.
Right. So again, I'm asking you the question, and I said,
rhetorical.
Rhetorical. Protest what though? Protest what? I don't get it. That's maybe I'm stupid.
When there's so much more to protest right now. What are we protesting for here? The law was followed legally. A jury of his peers spent 2.5 days deliberating on this.
Yeah.
And so what are you upset about?
Like listen, like me, listen. I think I'm not saying this kid was guilty, but there's a lot of verdicts that listen. It's what it is. Jury found him, like O.J. Simpson. It's a great thing.
No.
I mean, O.J. and there's
And if this wasn't connected to a riot whatsoever, say this was just a thing he
Right.
saw,
right.
and he went out to protect. Would they be worried about a riot today?
I don't know. That's
Yeah,
No, I don't know. I don't that. Like I said, I'll go back to it, and maybe somebody could text us or talk to us. What are we going to protest? What are we protesting?
What are we protesting for?
That the system did what it was supposed to do.
James Dean would say, "What do you got?
What do you got?" Listen, we're going to sign off. My whole thing today, I didn't want to get into politics, but we always get sucked into it. Jeremy sucks me into it.
It was a good show.
You always suck me into it, Jeremy. And then I get on my soapbox and I go off on a tangent. And the thing is, this is all, permanently, somebody's going to, I'm telling you one day, I'm going to run for dog catcher and they're going to pull this shit up and they're like, you ain't going nowhere, Kachmar. But you know what? I put my head on a pillow. I believe in Jesus Christ. I believe in, like you said, nonviolence.
Kindness. Let's bring it back.
And you know what? Like with guns and everything, I couldn't even imagine killing somebody.
Oh my God, no.
And I don't want to even put myself in that position. Yeah. And I know, young kids and you go into war, I would have a hard time, I mean, I know if I have to do it, but what I'm saying is that that's not in my DNA. That's not in your DNA.
No, sir.
And so it's a tragedy. And this, even though this guy, I don't know the people who got killed. He had sounded like he had mental illness. What was his name? Rosenbaum. What was
Rosenbaum? Yeah, apparently he was.
Yeah. And we pray for his soul, and hopefully,
child toucher.
Yeah. And listen, it sounds like he wasn't. He had issues, but I'm not going to sit there and dance. I won't go out and celebrate this either.
Oh no.
I'm not. I mean, like I'm glad. I think it reinforced to me Second Amendment rights and the right to protect yourself under God. But I'm sober about this. People died. People got shot. And so we don't minimize it. Those people. His mother and family. I mean, he was a baby.
He's a convicted child rapist.
Doesn't matter though.
No, but hold on. He died reaching out for another child.
Well,
and that's what
I know. But listen,
I've got more to protest about and more to think about.
But I'm going to bring you.
I know.
Back to the Christian side.
Yeah.
And what I'm going to tell you is this: is that I look at it this way. I'm not jumping up and down. We're not having champagne.
Sure.
We're not. What it is I'm happy. The system work. What it works. We had a trial like we should. There was nobody lynched him. Nobody took this kid out and shot him. Same thing. It didn't. There may be some protest now, but I don't. But this is how it worked. It works in this country. You had peers took care of his 6 jurors of his peers, and you had a verdict. The people who died, it's a tragedy. We should not minimize that either. Yeah. They were human beings under God. We'll let God judge them.
Mm-hmm.
We'll let God judge them. Now, he didn't kill those people for a judgment. He protected himself, his body, because he would have been dead. He really felt he'd be dead. That's different. He didn't execute him. He protected himself best he could.
Yeah.
Okay. And you can say, oh, he shot him how many times? So, but we don't. These people who died, who we should pray for them. And I know you may not like that. So like I tell you, I'm not a big in favor of capital punishment where you execute people. I think we shouldn't be doing that.
I mean, I don't pray for bad people, but I also don't pray for people to get harmed in general.
You only want listen to me. Yeah. I understand that, and Christ. We're not the judge and jury.
It's not for me to be that way. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But I think I just want to. So Biden's going to say protest. I'm going to say, listen, don't celebrate. Nobody should celebrate.
No,
but we should be happy. We should not celebrate. The word should be, we should be confident that this was a thing that is reaffirms that we under God have the right to protect ourselves.
Yeah.
We have the right for self-preservation. And there is evil out there. There is evil out there, and there's good out there. And in my opinion, he represents good. They represented evil.
Yes, sir.
That's it.
Yeah.
So, you could take it for wherever you want from there. So anyway, Jeremy, and I like you, Jeremy. You always talk about, being nice and everything. Jeremy, how about you give everybody our information, our contact stuff, if anybody wants to listen to us anymore after that.
For more information about Dr. Kachmar and all the things we may or may not talk about on our show, Scrubbing Up, go to Jersey Shore footandlegcenter.com. Dr. Kachmar's email is DRCA.
What? Who?
DRKACHMAR.
Well, how about putting it up there on the screen?
Yeah, let's do that.
How about that? Listen, Jeremy, listen, you're getting a little. Did I shake you up with all of this?
It's my first day.
Oh my God.
So Dr. Kachmar at iCloud.com. This has been Scrubbing Up with the amazing Dr. Michael Kachmar.
Jersey Shore. Put my web.
Jersey Shore Foot and Leg Center. There's your website. And
for the podcast, that's Jersey Shore Foot and Leg Center.
Yeah, that's right.
And I want to apologize to Jeremy because Jeremy does multiple shows, and Jeremy has to deal. So Jeremy has to deal.
I have to splinter myself.
Right.
Off.
Jeremy has through a bunch of other doctors that he works with, and one is like super to the right.
Right.
So what we just said right now, Jeremy's head could explode.
I know.
And So
what I've held back during this show, you'll have no idea.
So listen to Jeremy tomorrow. Jeremy, just tell everybody about your shows tomorrow if they want to listen to it.
At 10 o'clock in the morning, local here at Jersey Shore. It's 104.1 FM. I'll be with Dr. Jasper on his show, Painless with Dr. Gabriel Jasper. That's from 10 to 11. From 11 to 12, I will be on with Dr. Barbara Schneider for Radio Free Tom's River. That's the heavy political one we're talking about.
Right. And people, Jeremy, if they want to be online, say podcasters listen to this, it's every Saturday, and the two shows are between 10 and 12.
Yeah.
Right. But what is it? They go on internet. It's Beach Radio.
MyBeachRadio.com. You can hear it all over the world.
What is it? Say it again.
MyBeachRadio.com. Yeah.
And you guys could watch that or should listen to it. It's not a video, but it's an audio. Oh, you do it live. You do Facebook Live on that.
Yeah.
But so you could get some. You could get some. Dr. Snyder, we love her. She's very particular.
If you start with mybeachradio.com at 10 o'clock tomorrow morning, you're going to hear how you're going to find us on Facebook Live.
Right. And if you think I was, that's. Listen, I got a little bit more of a Christian, background. So.
Right.
But listen, everyone. We really appreciate you listening to us. Please subscribe.
Yeah.
Watch us on.
Tell your friends. Share our podcasts on all your devices. Remember what I always say: be kind to each other. Let's show some tolerance out there, and be the ones that dictate how the world should be.
Yeah, and that's right. And be kind and follow us. We do this show every Friday. We have a lifeguard show that I do every Tuesday, and we're all over the place, So watch us. All right, everyone.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Take care.
Have a nice time. All right, Jeremy.
Alrighty.
Sign us.